All hail a beard, it's your boy Big Beard B, and we back for another edition of Big Beard Business. For those of you new to the channel, I'm B, and on this channel we help you improve your confidence by way of compliments using the wonderful world of fragrance. If this is your second video or more, we ask that you hit the subscribe button so you can come back to rock with your boy. Here's the deal, man. To be perfectly honest, I am super excited about today's video. It's a video that I've wanted to do for quite some time, but it's here now. Today we're talking about 3 age milestones: the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s. Years ago, when I initially kicked off this channel, I did a video talking about fragrances for, well, certain points in your life, and this video is kind of like the second coming of that. And we're going to talk about fragrances for certain reasons at certain ages that you could or should be wearing in those situations. And as always, I would love to hear from you down below in the comments of what fragrances you would rock in each age range, in each situation. Feel free to comment as much as you like, and don't go without leaving a comment. Now, before I hop into the fragrances, I do want to preface this, man. The collecting of fragrances, wearing fragrances, it can get quite expensive, and I'm not expecting you to have everything on today's list, especially if you're 20 and we're talking about a fragrance for the 40s. However, I feel like all of these fragrances can work across all age ranges for a particular reason, and if you fall in one of those reasons, then hey, go ahead and rock it, all right? However, I do think there are some things that are a little more important than fragrances, i.e. getting your own place, having your own car, etc. Although they are quite a bit more expensive than wearing fragrances, so that may not matter at all. Let's go ahead and get into today's list. So first up, I want to talk about the age of 20s. Obviously, that goes from 20 to 29, all right? And I'm talking about a fragrance that you can wear to work. And no matter really where you work, this fragrance would work. I didn't mean to say that so many times. And the fragrance comes from the house of Montblanc, and the fragrance is Montblanc Explorer. Listen, I think the name says it all. In your 20s, you are going to be exploring a lot of things. New hobbies, women, new jobs, careers, etc. And this fragrance really will be a fairly inexpensive fragrance that'll garner you compliments and help you feel confident along the way here, man. This fragrance is really the answer to what people have been looking for, right? A designer version of a Navitus that is fairly inexpensive, and you can pick this one up whether it's in retail stores or on the gray market, and I'm gonna hook you up right there where you can find these things readily available, man. The fragrance that I have here, obviously Montblanc Explorer, is one of those fragrances that you can wear to the office. Man, it does smell good. You can wear this thing to the office and really set the tone and the pace, all right? And obviously, if you can't afford the other ones, then this one is a good starting point, and it's fairly inexpensive, all right? So that's a fragrance that I would say in your 20s, you should own. Maybe even in high school, you can have this one in your collection because, well, it's just that affordable, and it tends to get the job done. Now, on the flip side, I want to talk to you about a fragrance for that date night, all right? For that colder weather, cuddle buddy action. The fragrance that you can pull out in your 20s is from the house of Viktor Rolf, and this one is Spice Bomb Extreme. Now, Spice Bomb Extreme has everything that you would want within a fragrance. You have sugar, you have spice, and everything nice. This one really stings the nostrils in a good way and can get you some attention, especially when you're looking for that close encounter situation. Now, there are a number of flankers within this Spice Bomb lineup, and personally, I don't think you can go wrong with any of them, but I think for the age of the 20 and you're looking for that seductive, better fragrance to wear in that cuddle buddy activity when you're looking for a date night, going out with that special lady, this is the fragrance that I would say is one of those ones that are high on my list. Spice Bomb Extreme from the house of Viktor and Rolf. Now, also, we're looking for a daily wear fragrance, one that you can spray and go. Pick this thing up, spray it, take it in your car if you want to, because you don't care if it gets messed up, because hey, it's cheap enough to do so. And this fragrance comes from the house of Burberry, a fragrance that I really do love, and you probably already know what it is. This one is Burberry Touch. This one is wood, it's fresh, it's musk, and it's a fragrance that has this powdery feel that is an everyday wear. Staple in the collection, if you ask me, in the age of that 20s, all right? So 20 something, I think any of these fragrances that I mentioned so far are going to work for you because, well, They just work. All right, so that takes it into our next age range, right, which is the 30s. All right, in your 30s, you probably are beginning to get settled into a career or beginning to choose a career. Maybe have moved into your own place by now, or with a friend or a loved one, and now you have things going for you in a more established way. And listen, I do want to call this out there. If that is not your time frame, don't worry about it. All right, don't get down if that's not your timeline. There is no direct path to success, and most times it looks like this. All right, so just because you're not there today doesn't mean you won't be there next week or next year. All right, but that takes us into our next fragrance, which typically symbolizes success in a way. All right, and that fragrance comes from the house of Creed, and this one is Creed's Militia Imperial. If you're looking for a fragrance to wear to the office, that is not the standard check the box answer when it comes down to Creed. I think this is a fragrance that works. For me, this one here really garners compliments. It symbolizes success, right? And it's also a fragrance that works in the office for sure. I have plenty of experience with this one, knowing a guy and many other people out there who have taken my advice, added this one to their collection, and you know, like, yeah, this one is a champ. Now listen, one of the things I do want to call out there, because as you're in your 30s, you may not have reached your pinnacle of success yet. That's generally later on in life, but hey, who knows, man? Again, everyone has a different path. One of the things that I'll say is that you begin to get a little bit more money in your collection, your bank account, and one of the things that I would tell you to do is to save. And you can save that goes a long way for retirement as well as doing other things. And one of the cool ways you can save is by hooking up with today's video sponsors, the good people at FragranceUSAcom. Yes, you heard me correct, FragranceUSAcom. They sell plenty of fragrances like Creed's Militia Imperial, like Creed Aventus, like Hachivat from Nishane, with fragrances that you can find in a boutique store for a lot of money. And these fragrances are discounted within their site, as well as if you visit their site and utilize my code BigBeard10, it'll save you an additional 10% off of their already discounted prices. And that goes a long way in helping you save and, well, smell your best. Now, you know, they say that money isn't everything, and one of the key things that I think is really good about FragranceUSA.com is that they have super fast shipping. I'm one of those people who want things now. Like, I want it, or at least I want to know that progress is being made. And what they do is they pack all orders on the same day. So your orders, if ordered before 3 p.m., will ship out same day, which I think is huge. You also get samples along with your purchases, and you get 100% customer satisfaction and authenticity guarantee, which takes it up another notch. I think that's like being Chick-fil-A, but of fragrances. So again, be sure to check them out, the good people at FragranceUSA.com. Utilize my code, save some money along the way, especially when you're now in your 30s. All right, you're being smarter with your money. Next up on the date night scene in the 30s, I think is a good place to start here, is a newer fragrance. Came out in 2020, and this fragrance is a replay or recreation of a fragrance that is legendary in its own right. And it comes from Jean-Paul Gaultier, and the fragrance is L'Amour Le Parfum. Now, the original L'Amour is a fragrance that was a standout scent. And when we look at what they did with Ultramar, that fragrance really did well in the clubbing scene. But to me, L'Amour Le Parfum is a fragrance that, again, works in that cuddle buddy activity and is the more mature fragrance versus the other two that we mentioned, right? To me, this fragrance does wonders for that close encounter situation. It's sweet enough to work, but it's also creamy enough and sensual enough to work as well, where you can really know that you are getting the job done when you wear this scent. Another cool thing about this fragrance, at least now at the time of recording this video, is it hasn't been out for years and years and years, which means there are not hundreds of millions of bottles sold, which means that you will likely still smell a little bit different from the guys that she is used to dating if you're still on the dating scene. Other than that, you know, you can spray this thing going. It can add a little spice to the life of you and your missus, and it's an all-around solid scent, okay? Look for the one with the gold atomizer, gold pull pin, and darker blue striation bottle. I think you'll be super happy with this fragrance, L'Amour La Parfum. Also, looking for an everyday fragrance in your 30s? Look no further than this one here, Dior Sauvage Parfum. Now, this is the fragrance that really works across a number of platforms, whether you're rocking it to the office or casually. This is one of those that you can really stand out with. I put this one on the list because, well, it has the Dior name, it has that quality smell and feel, and to me the Parfum version is the more mature of the three that have been released so far. We have the EDT, which is a little wild and untamed, the EDP, which is typically that good balance for most, but I think the Parfum is a little bit more mature, sits a little closer to the skin, a little more settled in, and also again a great everyday wear scent. So be sure to check that fragrance out, Dior Sauvage Parfum, or any of the Dior Sauvages if you like. And again, holla at my people at FragranceUSAcom. And next up we have the 40s, which is the age range I'm going to stop at. Personally, I am in my early 30s at the moment. Oh, mid 30s. I'm not sure what you would technically consider that. Doesn't matter. All right, this fragrance is going to be a high quality fragrance that I think if you are 40 plus, is going to be a no-brainer for you. If you're in your 30s, this is one that you can wear, and I've also worn this one in my 20s, but the fragrance comes from the house of Creed, and this one is Creed's Royal Oud. Now, Royal Oud tends to be a little more expensive in terms of the Creed lineup. When you think of the oud note in its essence, in its real raw essence, it's one of the more expensive ingredients out there, which is why it translates into a more expensive fragrance. But again, we holler at my people at FragranceUSA.com, utilize my code BIGBEARD10, and you're going to save a little bit of coin. All right, this fragrance is one that is personally a solid scent. All right, this is really oud done on a different level and in a different way. If you're looking for something slightly different than this though, you can also check out Initio's Oud for Greatness, and that's a fragrance that I often recommend as well. You wear this one to the office. This is that bossed up fragrance, that guy who's feel confident, he has some power within the office or within that place of business. You spray this thing on and you are going to smell like, well, the boss. Takes us to our next age range again, 40s, right? Date night. Date night in a bottle here. This fragrance is a little more sophisticated than the other fragrances that we talked about so far. And this one comes from the house of Xerjoff, and this one is Xerjoff 1861 Naxos. Now, 1861 Naxos is, again, more mature than the other fragrances that we talked about so far, and you get that in the quality of the fragrance as well as some of the note utilization. You have some tobacco within this fragrance, you got some honey in here as well, and it gives it this hitty, really elegant, mature fragrance that actually is a compliment monster. I mean, really, when it boils down to it, it has everything you need in a fragrance. You have jasmine, you have tobacco leaf, you have honey, you have tonka bean, and the way it is really brought together and mixed, it's high quality at its finest. Xerjoff is a amazing brand in itself. Look at that distribution, and you really don't miss out with it, man. Xerjoff 1861 Naxos, an amazing scent that I definitely recommend for those date nights, 40 plus. This is another fragrance that I've recommended to people in their 20s. I've worn it in my 30s, and I think you can rest assured very confidently in your 40s of rocking this fragrance in a great date night situation, going out to a nice dinner date somewhere upscale. That is a fragrance that you will not miss with. Now, finally, I want to talk about a fragrance for everyday wear, and some of you might be like, nah, B, you killing it, it's overkill, but I think the fragrance does work, because if I were to bring you this fragrance in a lower price point in a different fragrance manufacturer or different house, you'd be like, yeah, I can see that. And the fragrance comes from Roja, and this one is Roja's Vetiver Parfum Cologne. All right, Vetiver Parfum Cologne to me is a nice, clean scent that again transitions well from an everyday casual wear, and again, I'm not talking about t-shirt and jeans type of casual wear. You're still casual, but not like dressed up. Okay, you're not going to do ripped jeans wearing this fragrance, but you may do some nice pants, right, some denim at that, and a nice button-up shirt or something, and be good to go. But this fragrance does transition well from the office to the casual attire wear that you would do, whether it's a this time a day date. You know, also rocking this one out to like an event or something. I think you'll feel confident in wearing this fragrance that it really does work. Now this fragrance is more expensive than a lot of fragrances that you would come across in your day-to-day unless you are really into fragrances, but here's the deal. Again, if you're hollering at people over at FragranceUSAcom, you can kind of rest assured knowing you're going to get some of the best pricing out there, as well as some of the best customer experience when it comes down to it. So be sure to check them out as well. Those are 3 age ranges and 3 situations. What I would love to do is hear from you down below in a 4th category in each age range, 20, 30, 40. What fragrance would you choose and what would the situation be? As always, I'm your boy, Big Beard B. Hit the like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend that we are back again. And you already know what I need you to do. Just hit the goddamn bell.